What's good? It's Boy Dude Reviews, and today we're going to review Solo: A Star Wars Story, or simply Solo, a 2018 American space western film based around the Star Wars character Han Solo. Also featuring his original trilogy co-protagonist Chewbacca and Lando Calrissian, directed by Ron Howard, produced by Lucasfilms, and distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. It's the second Star Wars anthology film following Rogue One in 2016, and Alden Ehrenreich stars as Han Solo alongside Woody Harrelson, Emilia Clarke, Donald Glover, Randall Newton, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Jonas Suotamo, and Paul Bettany. And the film explores the early adventures of Han Solo and Chewbacca, who join a heist within the criminal underworld 10 years prior to the events of A New Hope. Now, Star Wars creator George Lucas began developing a Han Solo prequel in 2012 and commissioned Lawrence Kasdan to write the screenplay. After George Lucas sold Lucasfilms to Disney in 2012, Lawrence Kasdan was hired to write Star Wars: The Force Awakens, leaving his son Jonathan to complete the solo script. Principal photography began in January 2017 at Pinewood Studios, directed by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, and both were fired in June 2017 following creative differences with Lucasfilms, and Howard was hired as the replacement. With an estimated production budget of at least $275 million, Solo is one of the most expensive films ever made. Solo had its world premiere in LA on May 10, 2018, and was screened at the 2018 Cannes Film Festival on May 15, 2018. It was released in the US on May 25, 2018. And it received generally favorable reviews from critics who praised the film's acting performances, particularly the guy who played Han Solo, I can't say his name properly, and Donald Glover as Lando. The visuals and musical score were also praised, as well as the action sequences. While some felt its storyline was predictable, it is the first Star Wars film to be considered a box office bomb, grossing only $393 million after The Last Jedi made like $1 billion at the box office. It only made $393 million, making the lowest grossing live action film in the franchise. And yeah, I feel like the reason this film didn't do too well at the box office was because it came literally a few months after The Last Jedi, like not even a year, like half a year after that. So I feel like the Star Wars fandom were just getting like Star Wars fatigue. It was like one Star Wars film every year, and I feel like Star Wars should be more of an event, where it should happen like every 2 or 3 years. They shouldn't do it every year. So I feel like we had Force Awakens, then we had Rogue One. A year later, then a year later we had Last Jedi, then we had 6 months later we had Solo. It's like, come on, like just give us time to breathe. Like, gosh, too many at once. It's too much, And I feel like people were just not bothered by it, to be honest with you. And yeah, it really, really, really didn't do well. Like, there's a lot of theories on why it didn't do too well. And director Ron Howard tweeted he was proud of the film and sorry that the fans were not turning out to see it, but was happy for those who would enjoy it. And the following year, he also stated that online trolls were partly to blame for the film's underwhelming box office performances. And honestly, I don't know if it was that, but I think maybe just fatigue, like it just got fatigue. I mean, this film came out at a terrible time. It came out on the 25th of May of 2018. Now, when you think back to that date, what movie came out on that year? What movie came out on the 25th of May? Well, around about that time, we had Avengers Endgame, for crying out loud. Even though this movie came out a month after that film, like, not a month, but like a couple of weeks after, like, people were going in to see Infinity War, my dude, people were watching Infinity War. This movie was making bank, so all the crowds were going to watch that film, and no one was turning in to see Solo. So that's probably why it didn't do too well. But let's get on to my positive of this film. And for me, what I like about this film is that it has good ideas, even though they're not executed properly. But I, yeah, I did like the first 10 minutes of it when they're driving around, and then like when they meet Lando, then they're having all that space fights and all that jazz. I felt like it was really crude. Sorry, I'm getting a tongue twister right here. I thought it was really good. I felt like Donald Glover as Lando was one of the best performances. I really enjoyed him as Lando. I thought he was really cool and really did a good job of portraying this version of Lando. You can't say he's a younger version because they're adults. It's just, you can't bring back Baby Williams as this character. It would look weird. But yeah, I like his performance as Lando. I thought it was really great. I have to admit, some of like the visual effects are pretty damn amazing. Like I thought they looked really cool. And the guy who plays Han Solo, like he gets him okay at times. He's not bad. He wasn't as bad as I expected him to be. He does get him at times. And yeah, this film was pretty bad. I'm sorry. I can't pretend I didn't like it. I nearly hated it. Like, let's go to negatives. Everything else is pretty bad. Like the storyline, there's no storyline. It keeps cutting back and forth, and it doesn't know what it wants to be. Is it a prequel to Han Solo? But it can't be an origin story. It's like, it's a strange movie because it's like, I guess it's just a story of is Han Solo before he met Chewie, before he met the Millennium Falcon, before he met Lando, before he did the Castle Run, before any of that stuff that Han Solo is known for. And this film just kind of establishes it all. And it's like, it's kind of pointless and dumb. We don't really need to know all this stuff. And it's like, we just want to see an adventure. And the adventure itself is kind of lame, It's pretty poor, and it's pretty boring, to be honest with you. It's a really dull film. There's no fun in this film. It's completely dried out. But I have to admit, it's a little bit more entertaining than Rogue One. This movie does have a little bit more jokes, and it's a bit more laid back than Rogue One. Rogue One was just so serious and boring. But I also prefer Rogue One because it was a story that felt like, even though it didn't need to be said, it kind of gave a little bit more. It was like, how did these plans, like it's showing you other people, other characters, not characters we know. And I kind of like just seeing new faces, but it's like with Solo, it's like you got all these characters like Han, Chewbacca, and Lando, who are like, why do we need a Han Solo film? We don't. If anything, we want an Obi-Wan or a Yoda film, but why a Han Solo movie? It's like, I'm sorry, but it just didn't do it for me. I'm gonna spoil so much in this film, so you're warned. The addition of Darth Maul at the end, I was dead confused, and I hated this film for that, for a long time. But then I found out that Darth Maul really did survive, and in the TV show he's alive, and this is probably set in between, but obviously we know what happens to Darth Maul towards the TV show. I don't know what it's called, Rebels or something like that. I'd probably need to check it out. But now that I know that, I feel a little bit better about it. But I just, everything about this film was just, it felt empty. It didn't look like Star Wars either. It just looked like meh. It just looked like just grey mess. It just looked, it looked like a beautiful grey mess, basically, because the visual effects were great, but it just looked like a mess to me. And it's just a film that I never want to see again. Same with Rogue One. Those anthology movies, I really don't want to watch them again. Like, maybe I could force myself to rewatch them, but they're just pointless. Like, I prefer the main episode movies, the Skywalker saga. These anthology films just feel kind of empty and bad. And for now, I'm going to give this film a definite 4.5 out of 10, and I give it a C-. But check it out, I recommend it. But thanks for watching. If you please have a share this video and comment down below and tell me what's your favorite Star Wars flick. With that said, thanks for watching. As always, Boy Dude Review signing out.